When I started writing, my whole process or approach to writing was, this is going to sound very old-fashioned, I would use a legal pad and I would write straight out, and then I would sit and type it in. So that meant before I could start writing, I'd have to sharpen all my pencils and get my pad of paper out and get my coffee made and have everything neat and tidy. And the problem was I ended up spending a lot of time getting ready and not writing. So since that time, the good news is I've been able to write on a computer, so that I can write drafts on the computer. And I make myself do it. So like exercise or like an appointment with your doctor, I put writing time on my calendar. And I make myself write during that writing time. I don't let myself get out of the appointment with myself. And I write for whatever. If I say to myself, I'm going to do even just 30 minutes, then I'll stop and have coffee, or 30 minutes, and then I can put a load of laundry in, or whatever. I make myself start, because the hardest part for me is that first draft. I have lots of ideas. In fact, I have more ideas than I can accomplish. So they're sitting there waiting for me to write them. The hardest part, I guess it must just be time. And I try to, like I said, make this appointment with myself, and so I have 3 hours set aside, and then I hope that it will spill over into more time, but I have at least those 3 hours every week that I give myself to write. And so it really becomes time. So I say I make this appointment, and then a child gets sick and misses school, and you've got to, take care of those needs. And so you always have these kind of other pulls that take you away from writing, and that's the most difficult, is scheduling time. I don't have a good sense of how much I can turn out in what amount of time, but part of that's because it depends on the type of writing. Research writing is more difficult for me than a personal reflection. And given my where I am in my career, I can write more personal reflections than I used to be able to. So I actually enjoy that. So I can turn those out quicker. Sometimes I sit on them longer, whereas research articles, I tend to have some sort of deadline in my head, and so I want to get this done by the end of the month or by 2 months or the end of the summer. It just goes slower. So in a writing space of an hour and a half, sometimes I'm happy if I get a page and a half done of research writing. Another really good experience for me has been collaborative writing with my colleagues. I've written with Dee Dee Johnson, and she's a great writer, so having another great writer you work with just helps improve your own writing. And I've written with Don Leidens, who's the best editor that I've ever worked with, and it improves my own writing to write with my colleagues. Plus, they kind of have a different take, so you can read your words over and over and think these are great words, and then they come in and say, but this isn't clear to me, and you go, oh yeah, that's helpful to know, and you can rewrite it, makes it a better paper. So sometimes sharing work with colleagues is helpful. I think I'd like to do it again, and that's why I'm real excited about the writing camp. I'm hoping partly it can help me network with another group of people that are excited about writing, and help me push me to get past those first drafts.